Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. What an insane what an insane 12 hours it's been. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. It says Bitcoin was in for a surprise plunge this Monday as investors assessed the situation in a worrisome oil market. The benchmark cryptocurrency fell by 4.3% to around 6,700 give or take per token, shortly after the US oil futures prices slipped into negative territory for the first time ever in history. The two assets remain uncorrelated, but Bitcoin's growing correspondence to the stock market amid the fast 19 might have led to its price decline. The Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped 2.4% to 23,650 on Monday, taking cues from the oil market. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite 2 plunged by 1.8% and 1% respectively, showing that investors continue to seek safety from risk-on assets. Bitcoin's intraday fall did not stop its prices from holding in its prevailed uptrend. The cryptocurrency plunged right into what appears like its interim support before attempting a minor pullback, heading into the Asian session on Tuesday. I posted this on Twitter yesterday, and it was the funniest thing in the entire world. I think my mind mentally just wouldn't let me actually see said number. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says U.S. oil prices turned negative for the first time on record on Monday after oil producers ran out of space to store the oversupply of crude because of 19, triggering an historic market collapse which left oil traders reeling. The price of U.S. crude oil crashed from $18 a barrel to negative $38 in a matter of hours. That's not a day. That's not a week. It didn't take a year for that to happen. It took hours. As rising stockpiles of crude threatened to overwhelm storage facilities and forced oil producers to pay buyers to take the barrels they could not store. So for those of you who have not been paying attention, I'm pretty sure we spoke about this briefly as well yesterday before any of this even happened. We were talking about the drop in I don't even want to call petrol an asset. It's more of an investment, if nothing else. Huge amount of discussion that was happening at the end of last week and the beginning of, I want to say yesterday, somewhere around there, that it just wasn't looking good. I had watched news reports that said that there was already like a bit of a shock as to what was going on and why was this happening. If you haven't noticed, the streets are emptier than usual. A lot of countries that actually have they may rely on gas and or oil to do heating or to do so and so or whatever the case might be, that part of their energy sector is oil or crude or petrol, whatever you kind of want to call it. Those that are using wind power, and especially even for this discussion, solar power, have seen a fivefold in the amount of energy that they're getting now from their solar panels because the skies are clear, which is insane to even kind of think about. Any smog that might have been there is now gone, and therefore they're overproducing this clean electricity that they're now selling. On the other side of that as well, with less people driving, less trucks driving around, less people needing to travel the last 10 weeks, no one's buying oil. Or as a result, the demand just simply is not there. And with that lack of demand comes a falling price. And when you have an oversupply, the price goes. So this is what I mean when I said my mind wouldn't let me understand that. I posted something on Twitter. I think I saw it. It said it was posted 5 minutes before, and I posted it on Twitter, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Look how low it is. It said that oil had fallen from, I think, 16 to, I think, it said -1. And I was like, wow, oil's $1 a barrel. And I kept on seeing the comments in Twitter saying negative. And I was like, negative what? What do you mean negative? And somebody was like, now it's -14. And I was like, how do you become -14? I Googled around. The price had dropped to -$38 a barrel. What? Like, it's just completely insane. I can't talk about it, or rather I won't talk about it on this channel, as this is not a I dare not use the word politics. But follow my mouse, look over here, and Google that. That is very big news right now. I received several texts from a good friend about this discussion that is heating up rapidly right at this very moment. So I would also look into that as well. So what it appears to be at the moment is this one says oil prices turn negative. Hundreds of U.S. oil companies could go bankrupt. There are tons of tons of companies around the world who are now shutting down their pumps, shutting off their pumps. There were tons of Canadian producers, American ones, and I forgot a couple of other countries. They literally shut their machines off because it is the opposite of profitable. This has never happened, but is there a chart somewhere around here? I know one of these things has a chart. Anybody got a chart? No charts for me. Here we go. Here's the actual thing right here. Doesn't this look insane? First time ever in history. Completely negative. And as it stands right now, so saith the world. It appears this will probably go on for another couple of months. This will not be alleviated very soon. I assume this dip is probably no longer around. I can only assume that other companies were like, okay, negative 38, that's a very good price to get into it. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. I've been discussing this with a couple of friends who aren't even into finance, and they send me messages and they're like, what in the world is happening? Because anyway, the point is, yeah, so it appears for some odd reason that the cryptocurrency market decided to follow. I assume it has to do in large part with just fear. This is just kind of how I'm looking at things. It says the markets today have taken a turn for the worse. In crypto, most of the industry's top 20 coins by market cap have all dipped in price between 5 and 7%. Bitcoin is again below 7,000, falling today to 6,800 per coin. Ethereum dropped all the way down to 168 before recovering to 172, a loss of nearly 7% on the day. All in all, crypto has lost about 10 billion in market cap since Sunday and now stands at 198 billion. In the stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell by 600 points. The real loser today is the oil market. And I mean, we just went over that. Right. There's no reason why crypto should have fallen other than fear. We have to always keep in mind that logic doesn't run deep for a large part of the world. And one can only assume if people see the collapse of one industry. And usually what I think it is a lot of times as well, you have to also understand that these markets, all markets, every single market, in some way are manipulated. So I would assume based off of like a fear index, if people see that other people are fearful in other markets, they also assume that people will possibly become fearful in the cryptocurrency market. And therefore, this is when they start to sell off as well in anticipation of other people selling off so that they can buy in at a lower price. Assumption, but it sounds logical because this is how every other market works. You put out this fearful news, you talk about that markets are going to dip, and then when markets do eventually dip, because markets don't go up forever, you then say, see, I told you so, be fearful, and then people start selling off. Anyway, crypto prices are down, not a lot, but they're still down from where we were before. Nothing has really changed, if I can be completely honest with you, as far as the cryptocurrency market. Once again, always to keep in mind, no fundamentals have changed. Everything is still intact. Bitcoin still works. Ethereum still works. XRP is still rolling along. It's just that oil plunged to negative 38. Crazy as well, because if Bitcoin had fallen to negative 38 or even towards zero, I think it would have made a lot more news than oil going negative. But even this, like when you find actual news about it, it's kind of like, okay, well, it happened. Well, we're definitely going to bounce back. Anyway, that's just kind of how I feel about that. Very, like I said, Google that because it's quite fascinating. This year has been a year unlike any other. I don't know if you've noticed. It is quite out there, if I can use those words. Next up. Over the past few weeks, stablecoins, which have been in the news every single day, it's a little weird. Crypto assets tied backed Crypto assets backed by a stable reserve asset have become increasingly important to the cryptocurrency market. First, just assets used by the fringe. This subset of altcoins now accounts for a growing percentage of the cryptocurrency market. In fact, according to data from the 20th of April from blockchain analytics firm Coinmetrics, the value of all stablecoins in circulation just passed by $9 billion for the first time ever. What's especially interesting about that is 6 weeks ago, the value of stablecoins was just at $6 billion. That means a month and a half ago, or rather, it's been a month and a half, and $3 billion worth of new stablecoins have entered the market. If you can see this little chart right here, this was all Tether. I assure you this was all Tether. And here we are now. It's a bit insane. The common narrative goes that it is decisively bullish for the crypto market, with many suggesting that the growing value of stablecoins is money being prepared to be thrust into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies. But this narrative may not be 100% true. Why? Because no one knows. With some suggesting the demand for stablecoins is not increasing for other reasons that may actually show crypto investors are rattled, or at least not willing to buy Bitcoin at the moment. If you've perused crypto Twitter over the past few weeks, you likely know that stablecoin issuers, Tether, Binance, Gemini Twins, amongst other firms, have been minting stablecoins at a rapid clip. Case in point, just last week, there were 2 days in a row during which $120 million of Tether took place. There are a lot of things. I don't really feel like reading through the entire as to why this could potentially be happening. A lot of speculation going on. Is or are these companies creating tons of stable coins in order to push them into the cryptocurrency market themselves? Is there a huge amount of demand behind the scenes that we can't see from other investors who are telling them to print more because they want these stable coins for when the coins go down to a certain price, they can immediately just buy directly into the cryptocurrency market? Who knows? It could literally be anything at this point. However, it is quite fascinating. This is the longest streak ever that we've had of discussions of stablecoins. It's been about 5-6 days in a row now. We have never talked about stablecoins this much in the history of ever. However, that's a lot of stablecoins. $9 billion, apparently, air quotes, waiting on the sidelines, is potentially insane. We've seen before, for those of you who don't know in the past, whenever there was new Tether minted or printed or created, a lot of that would slide into Bitcoin over the course of about 4 or 5 days, and Bitcoin's price would shoot up very rapidly. And this was when we were around here, October, November, December 2017. We are a bit higher, air quotes, than where we were before, of money that's now sitting on the sidelines, no longer less than 1 billion, that could potentially flow into crypto assets. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to assume that we're going to continue getting stablecoin news. If over the last couple of weeks, we've gone from 6 to 9 billion, just assume that by June, which will really make sense with the time as well, but just assume by June we'll have anywhere from 10 to $12 billion worth of stablecoins, which would be really fascinating. Speculation. If these stablecoins are being printed or primed and being set on cryptocurrency exchanges or into cryptocurrency wallets on cryptocurrency exchanges by major players who are waiting for any potential dip that may happen before or after the halving, so that they can simply push billions immediately into the market. Because I think it's actually quite, you can go on Coinbase, you can go on Binance, you can go on Gemini Twins, and you can try and acquire large amounts of crypto, but I feel like that's not how it works. I.e., you can put $100 on Coinbase. You can say, I want to buy $100 of Bitcoin. I want to buy $3,000 of Bitcoin. I want to maybe buy 5,000, but I feel like at a certain point, flags would be raised and they would kind of say, this has also happened before with Coinbase and also other cryptocurrency exchanges. It's not just Coinbase. It's more like if you do too much, if the metrics are too high, you then get flagged and they actually stop your buy order. I've seen this happen to a couple of other people. And we also had a lot of news like this in 2017 and 2018. And I assume I don't think they've gotten friendlier to people trying to push millions into the market at once. If you get flagged for a transaction over $10,000 that's trying to enter the cryptocurrency space, one can only assume if you're trying to push 10 million into the market at one period, at one time, if the price falls below a certain number, this is probably, I think I cracked it. Probably exactly what it is. On that speculative side. If people are trying to enter the market with billions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions per investment firm, investment person, they probably want it directly to be in Tether or in stable coins already. So should prices dip, they can simply just accumulate in mass at that one moment because the cryptocurrency exchange won't tell you, no, you can't make that major purchase. It's the same exact thing before what we've seen before and had other news reports where people, there's one guy made like 20 million from his trades and stuff like that on cryptocurrency exchanges. So I assume he wasn't told, no, you can't execute that trade. Anyway, it does make sense. If you have them sitting on the sidelines inside of accounts and Bitcoin does some type of crazy dip downwards, well, then that's your moment to be able to push in 47 million into the market without Cointelegraph, without Coinbase, all the other exchanges telling you no. It makes sense. I think it makes sense. Well, we'll find out in a couple of weeks if all this, it's being made for something. People aren't making stable coins because they want them to just be there. There's clearly a demand from someone or something or some group. Anyway, that's the stablecoin news. It's kind of insane. Let's move on. In quite fascinatingly interesting news, the Ethereum 2.0 testnet received a warm welcome after garnering nearly 20,000 validators in just 2 days after being launched on the 18th of April. The network gained a high number of validators just after the Genesis block was mined, showing the interest of people in the new... That's an understatement. Come on. The main attraction towards Ethereum 2.0 testnet is due to the potential of being a game changer for the Ethereum network. The latest development is known as the Ethereum Topaz testnet and was created by Prismatic Labs. Prismatic Labs is a development team that is creating a new decentralized architecture for the Ethereum network. The Topaz infrastructure will replace Ethereum's current Sapphire test network. The Topaz testnet is a huge leap. Okay, it allows shift from complex computations for validations to an energy efficient system. Where was the other part? Under Topaz's proof of stake model, miners will become ordinary participants that stake their ether to support the transactions and validations of new blocks on the chain. The network will also be more decentralized, as a user will only need 32 ether, which we've gone over before, to become a validator when the network goes live. And then over here, I think Vitalik actually tweeted about it. He said, mainnet configuration ETH2 testnet. Note that this is likely not quite yet the multi-client testnet. Trademark. We are also likely going to do 1 or 2 restarts soon to have more chances to test the Genesis mechanism, but still huge progress and excellent work by Pry Labs. And it says 32 Ether deposits, full mainnet configuration, latest ETH2 Phase 0 specs, built on Goerli, and 70 plus contributors. So it appears this is still a go. At this point in the past, we usually received indications and or news that there could be a delay in any type of Ethereum upgrade. This may have also been why, if you notice the last couple of days, we saw Ethereum's price going up. Could have been even just people within the team or other people who were really paying attention to the actual activation of the testnet and that it was going well. 20,000 validators and that everything was going smoothly, especially if they do a couple of restarts and everything continues well. We are April, still not May, June, July. 3, 2, 4, 8, 10. It's 11 weeks away now, supposedly, that we are going to get the Ethereum 2.0 mainnet launch. So, I mean, 11 weeks really isn't that long if you kind of think about it. It kind of goes a lot faster than you would assume it would. Anyway, yeah, that's the Ethereum 2.0 news. It appears it is still on track. Has gained a lot of attention, as one might assume. It appears the 32 Ether to be able to stake is still going to be the reality, which I think is going to be absolutely fantastic because I can't wait to see how much... I'm waiting for a rapid dry up of Ethereum once we get any type of confirmation. If in the beginning of July we end up hearing that this is definitely going to take place, I'm expecting good things. But yeah, it's nice to have some confirmation or some news that this is still moving forward. Let's move on. Next up, Three Arrows Capital Chief Executive Officer Su Tzu says traders are downplaying the impact of Bitcoin's halving event. Speaking in a live interview with The Block, the crypto hedge fund CEO explained that May's halving event is no longer priced into Bitcoin following the dip below $7,000. Tzu said he expects next month's block halving reduction to create a supply shock for traders and drive buying pressure for Bitcoin. He said, I think at this point it's not priced in. I think it was arguably priced in a few months ago from the point of view of the leverage, but then the spot buying not coming in. I think once the halving comes through and people see there's less supply coming on the market, there's going to be quite a big supply shock. He said, I think ultimately people will be surprised by how little supply there can be if you go into a run and then the new money comes buying in as well. To dispel the rumor that Bitcoin miners will be in a crunch post-halving, saying that large mining groups have plenty of spare collateral. He also revealed his hedge fund has experienced a renewed interest in Ethereum from high net worth individuals. I mean, Ethereum has if you haven't been here the last couple of videos, Ethereum has become the new kid on the block the last like 3 weeks. This is exactly what I was tying into the other day when what I was saying, why Ethereum's price was going up. I assume somewhere behind the scenes, people had gotten confirmation that things were not a go with thumbs up. You can't see my thumbs up. That people were simply kind of like, hey, this is definitely going to happen now. And this is why I think the price was going up before even we got the news about the test net being a success. I think it would be very odd and very random and very weird if there had been a huge amount of renewed interest from high net worth individuals about Ethereum if the upgrade was kind of not just going to happen. Anyway, the point being, the bullish sentiment has seemingly returned despite a drop in prices. I think people don't even, I myself, and I know many other investors don't really pay attention to the dips anymore. I know there are a lot of people watching right now who don't pay attention to the dips, or rather they use dips as a moment to accumulate, if you kind of want to say that. These are, I don't want to use the term falsified dips. There's no reason why oil would drop and Bitcoin would also follow suit. That's like there being a shortage of apples from apple trees and MacBooks currently they go to half their price in Apple stores. It just doesn't make any logical sense. But these are opportunities if you think of them this way. And yeah, I'll repeat this until we get past this point. I don't think that there's as much Bitcoin or crypto out there as people actually believe circulating. And I think when, in my mind, there is an eventual bull run and people are trying to buy up as much as possible, they're going to be very shocked because people don't really, I think people think of the halving as an event, as like a hype event, as something that happens, you get near it, the price goes up, you sell off and you go, I made 10% on my money. Not realizing that the actual supply of Bitcoin that's being created is going to get cut in half. And even the one in 4 years from now is just going to be mind-boggling to a lot of people. Anyway, we're getting a lot of talk from, I don't want to say CEOs, but high net worth individuals who are in the cryptocurrency space who are constantly coming forward now talking about their bullishness on Bitcoin, either super pre or post-halving, because of a supply shock. Yeah. What's this one? Here we go. It says crypto exchange Binance has completed the 11th quarterly burn of its Binance tokens. Binance has burned $52.5 million worth of Binance coin in quarter one of this year, which is a 35% increase from $38 million in quarter four of 2019. The quarter one Binance burn is the largest burn Binance has ever made, both in terms of Binance coin and US dollars. Binance has so far burned a total of 20 million Binance coin, an equivalent to around $298 million in 11 burn events, which represents about 10% of the total supply of 200 million. There's a little Bernie chart right there so you can see how much they've burned. Notably, Binance no longer lists Binance Coin based on its profits, or no longer burns Binance Coin based on its profits, but does so based on its self-reported volumes. So for those of you who do not know, and I'll give you two conversations at once. Binance burns their coins. Okay, everyone, it's gonna do it for this video. No, actually, what happens is Binance, when they created Binance Coin, I think there we go. They created 200 million, and they told people, we're gonna burn our coins. Every quarter, we're gonna burn a certain amount of coins until we end up getting to 100 million coins. And this is why a lot of people, not financial advice, I also don't own any Binance coins, so just kind of take it how you will. A lot of people think that this is bullish for the long term of Binance. Imagine a company. Imagine Amazon is about 2-3 years old as Binance is, and you see that Amazon is doing really big things, and Amazon only creates 200 million stock. Bam. And at some point, every quarter, they literally take their stock and they throw it into a fire. And they're going to do that until they only have 100 million. And the company starts to become more valuable, but there's less stock out there. Therefore, more people want to acquire said stock in order to be able to profit from the company profiting. If that kind of makes any sense in some sort of way. So a lot of people think that the destruction or burning of Binance Coin is bullish because there will be less of it. And if there's more utility for the actual Binance token, well, therefore, the value of the token would increase. No one knows. However, this is the speculation behind it. Second conversation. Some people were asking it had to be last quarter at this point, why I didn't talk negatively about Binance burning their coins, but I spoke very negatively about the people from Stellar Lumens burning a huge portion of their coins. And it's very, very simple. From the very beginning, both beginnings, when Binance first launched their coin, they said, we're going to be burning our coin. Understand that when you buy into this, we're going to have 200 million. We're going to start burning it until we get to 100 million coins. Bam. The people from Lumens, when they launched, they were meant to be a hyper decentralized, money for everyone, used by everyone, alternative to XRP. There was never any mention about the burning of their coins. Once again, if you want to have this fight, if you want to have this argument, we can do it because I've been here since Lumens was created. I remember when Lumens was created because I was definitely already into XRP, and I remember the entire conversations revolving around this. So when the people from Lumens, I believe it was last year, decided to have that press conference, go on stage and talk about that they were going to be burning billions of their coins, I forgot what their reasoning was. It had nothing to do with you or your friends or your family or trying to make the network more decentralized. It was because they realized that there were too many coins and they were trying to destroy them so that they could raise the price of Lumens, which did not work. So if the people from Lumens from the very beginning had announced, hey, yeah, every quarter we're going to be burning coins, I would have been like, that's totally fine. But they did it in an effort to try and raise the price of their token, which did not work. And therefore, that's why I had a problem with it. Because they burned an enormous amount of money that could have actually been used inside of their ecosystem for something else. They could have even just kind of locked it away for a certain period of time and simply said over the course of even more so, that was also part of the money. So I read that, remember all the airdrops that Lumens was doing in the very beginning? Pepperidge Farm remembers, because I definitely remember there was a huge amount of time where the people from Lumens were talking about that they were going to be airdropping coins to tons of wallets and addresses. I think if you had the blockchain wallet on your phone, you would be airdropped Lumens. I assume a lot of that has also stopped because of the entire tax situation with airdropping coins. But like I said, two conversations at once. People were always asking me, why were you so negative on the Lumens one? It's because they didn't do it from the get-go. It was done to increase the price of their coin. Binance's burn is also, don't get me wrong, is being done to increase the value of their coin. But we've known that they were going to do this from the get-go. So I hope that's been cleared up. I think if you are going to be a decentralized coin for the people like you claim, you can't simply burn billions of your coin because you're trying to raise the price. Can you imagine, as decentralized as Bitcoin currently is, if the people from Blockstream were like, yeah, we're going to mine and just burn a whole bunch of Bitcoin? You don't have the right to do that. It's a decentralized network. You have to ask other people for it. Especially when you as a company are holding said coins. I'm pretty sure the people from Lumens also held percentage-wise a lot more than the people from Ripple. But just gonna let that conversation end there. So yeah, Binance has burned more coins. 11th coin burn, more than 10% of total supply. This will obviously increase as time goes on. I don't know how many do we actually have now? There's no actual numbers. I don't know the exact amount of Binance coin that are left circulating around, but I assume we're around 120 million, 130 million at this point. And I guess 30 million left to be burned. But yeah, that's the Binance news for today. I like clarifying stuff because I see stuff. I see people write stuff in the comment section, and I think that they think I don't read the comment section. A lot of times, I'm sorry, I can't answer all of your questions. I see tons of people asking me things. There was whoever you were, I apologize. There was one person, he wrote a paragraph. I mean, it was an actual long paragraph, and then his second comment was like, I thought TMI read all the comments. He's not responding to mine. And it just kind of got angrier as the comments kept on going down. And I was like, dude, I don't have time to respond to a paragraph. Neither do I have time to unpack the fact that you wrote me a paragraph. And some people also ask me really weird questions. They ask me like these really odd, like, what do you think the correlation between Link and Bitcoin is when DAI is being traded? I'm like, I don't care about these things. Like my job isn't to go through smart contracts and how well they're performing. I'm here to make money. I buy up assets, I hold them until they make me tons of money, and then I sell them, and then I put it into real estate and other investments. I'm sorry that I'm not as intelligent or as smart as many of you think I am. People ask me all these really crazy technical questions. I'm like, I'm not a coder. I don't create these things. I buy them. I'm a buyer. Anyway, to finish things off, British TV presenter and former X Factor star, Rylan Clark Neal, alerted his followers as to fake interviews, claiming that Rylan had made billions or millions from Bitcoin. I was reading the B first. Millions from Bitcoin. On the 18th of April, the former celebrity Big Brother star, I wouldn't go that far, tweeted that a fraudulent interview impersonating UK publication, the Daily Mirror, was circulating on Facebook. Rylan warned his followers. He said, there's a fake interview going around on Facebook and social platforms claiming to be the Daily Mirror, which isn't saying how I've made millions from Bitcoin. That's a really weirdly, to the Daily Mirror, which isn't saying how I've made millions from Bitcoin. That's who wrote that? I mean, who said that? That's not English. The point being, it says it around here as well. Apparently, there are tons of scams being advertised right now on Facebook, but also other social media platforms, as they are called, where people are impersonating celebrities, trying to make it so that they are endorsing cryptocurrencies, which is, I guess, in turn getting people to join the cryptocurrency market. Not like one would assume, though, because apparently what's been happening, what's been happening is that these scams, of course, like it says, French soccer star, blah, 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 is apparently also suing someone for a fake interview. Sure, why not? People are falling for these things because logic, and what's happening is that people are sending their money to these websites or to these email addresses or to these cryptocurrency wallets in expectation of getting some money back from their favorite celebrity. I know how reality works, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you do as well. If there was imagine your favorite celebrity. Think in your head. I'm sure one has popped in there right now. Or favorite singer, or favorite musician, favorite someone. Can you imagine a world where they say, send me money, I give you crypto? It doesn't exist, right? That's not part of our reality. So the fact that there are tons of people falling for this is interesting at best. And the other part is, once again, never forget this, people only complain when they lose money. So this tells me that tons of people have been doing this. They've been losing money, and now they're trying to find out who they can blame for their activities. Anyway, yeah, just a public service announcement. If I don't know any modern celebrities. I was like, Madonna Britney Spears. I don't know who's popular now. If any of them decide to, if you see them on a social media platform saying, send me money, or you should be investing in crypto, don't fall for it. I don't understand why would you think, I mean, what? Like, I just don't get it. Like someone who used to be on Celebrity Big Brother. Okay. Anyway, that's going to do it for that news. I saw this article and similar articles like it floating around today talking about this because apparently, I don't want to say gullible, but I mean, gosh darn it. If you just stay away, like what was the other thing a couple of weeks ago? It was the people all going onto YouTube, onto the fake accounts that were like with Brad Garlinghouse and Vitalik sending money. Why would they do that? If you were a billionaire, would you spend your time on YouTube sending money to other people? I know one person said yes. There's always that one person who's like, yes, of course I would. To the other 99.9%, you would not be doing that. You'd be buying up other assets and or buying beaches or whatever billionaires do. Anyway, that's that news, and let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Yasha Harari, Moonman High XRP, The Pothead, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Josh Gorsica, Chongololo, Tsongololo, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Barebones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohameroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Jared Schneider, Wise Knight, Owl 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Nicholas Renault, One Piece, One Love, Damien Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Richard III, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto and Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Manja, Lavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jemmy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test every day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigera, Machonisa, on Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle URL, and hold on, I have to sneeze. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Did it in 2 breaths. I keep getting lightheaded after I do that. I should maybe just take normal breaths. And thank you all to everyone who is a supporter of the channel, and thank you to everyone who is a clicker of my affiliate links. Thank you. At the moment, for those of you looking at the screen and those of you not looking at the screen, it is a sea of red. Bitcoin is currently down by 4%. Ether is down by 5.6%. XRP is down by 4.4%. Tether's up, as one would assume. Nearly all coins have fallen. Leo's meant to be a stablecoin, but it's never on parity with the dollar, as it were. Yeah. A lot of the cryptocurrency market doesn't make a lot of, I was going to say it doesn't make sense, but it just is what it is. Fear is very strong. You can push fear directly into many other things, and it just appears that the cryptocurrency space is well inclined to fear, but even more so than, once again, remember the news that we had a couple of weeks ago as the cryptocurrency market dipped, or Bitcoin dipped, from 7,000 something to 3,500 and moved back up. And the news that we had that it was major players, it was whales who were moving this money around, and all the people who had been hodling hadn't sold at all. I don't know anyone who actually sold. I knew tons of people who bought, but no one who sold. Anyway, yeah, fascinating times indeed. I assume this is going to be one of the, it already is, going to be one of the craziest years that we've ever experienced in our entire lives. Ever. And it's only April. So get ready for all the good stuff that May has to bring. Sorry, it's just the truth. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See